them from behind, rocked them off their feet, sucked them into its well. Raef could still feel how his body lifted, so light, so easy. He stretched out his fingers, made them longer to grip his cousin's hand, but Carlton's bigger body was no longer beside him. Upside down, right side up, head over heels again, mouth slack, drinking in water, he turned and tumbled in the waves' salty spin. Hurled out he fell, arms and legs sprawled, only knowing he was no longer in the sea when the hot sharpness of shells pricked his skin. Daring to open his eyes, he'd screw them up against the glare of light, saw only whiteness surrounding him. Surely he was in heaven? Then as Mammy scooped him up and hugged him to her, speech imprisoned by relief, he'd realized that it was the sand that he'd run on and played on all his life. Now, Mammy was scaring him a little with the tightness of her hold as she encircled his jaw and turned his face towards hers. "Raef, listen to me. You go have to be a big boy and try to understand." He nodded, although his interest was already drifting to the very pinkest of the shells in the pile the others had collected. "Soon Mammy going in England." It was as though she said it every day, like saying it's time for supper. She was going? What about him? "You hear me, Raef? Mammy and Davy going in England. Things here too hard, we can't survive. I must go and work. Help your father make some money. Then we go send for you to come up here. You go live with Auntie Dell. You go leave me?" Confusion clouded his mind. He loved his Auntie Dell, loved playing with Carlton and Ruth, but why did he have to live with them? Davy was going. Why couldn't he go too? "Mammy love you," a voice cracked. "Remember that, eh? I don't want to leave you." Her dry lips pressed against his ear. She squeezed his 8-year-old body close. No heat transferred from her. Instead, he felt cold. Mammy, who he loved with his entire self, was going to that far-off place called England, leaving him behind. Those words were wafted around his mind. The rest, unabsorbed, dissipated on the sea breeze. His world crawled to a surreal halt. "Raef, you understand?" He didn't, but he nodded anyway, sensing that was what Mammy wanted. He looked at her harder, wondered why her tears didn't fall, but stood like soldiers in her eyes. Dream coming true? Those words would rerun in his head, like a stylus stuck in a scratched vinyl record, mimicking the hope trapped inside him. It made no sense. "You going behind a dream, Mammy?" A dream wasn't real, but he was. Yet she intended to leave him. How could he understand? What hardships was she talking about? "It's not only the dream. I following your father to make a better life." "And me?" His body trembled. Mammy hugged him tighter. Raef woke each morning with a swarm of questions hovering in his head, like locusts waiting to ravage him. Why is she leaving me? Where this place she going to? England existed in the pages of textbooks, in stories and big people talk. Queries whispered in his mind when he was at school. As he walked home, feet made heavy by anxiety. They lodged in his gullet when he tried to eat. The beautiful island where mangoes grew rosy and hung heavy on the trees was all he knew. Its clear seas, which sidled onto sugary sand, were part of him, like the powerful smell of cocoa, drying in the scorching sun that filled his nostrils when he dashed past the plant. Eager to get to school, he'd arise as soon as daylight filled the house, gobble whatever food Mammy prepared, then wash his dark skin at the standpipe. Dressed in his short-sleeved blue shirt, beige shorts with creases pressed sharp, his one exercise book under his arm, he'd skip and run, bare feet kicking at stones along the way. Auntie Dell fed him lunch with his cousins, and he stopped there again on his way home from school to play. He and Carlton, chasing an old bike wheel, using a stick to keep it rolling. Bow-legged Ruth dashing behind them, trying to keep up, or playing cricket with a